The rise of cricket in India. A warm afternoon settles over a dusty ground somewhere in Bombay. Early 1900s. The sun hangs heavy in the sky. The air is still, except for the distant sound of waves brushing against the shore. A group of young boys gathers near a patch of uneven land. Barefoot. Curious. Watching. At the center stands a man in white, holding a wooden bat with quiet familiarity. The ball is bowled. It strikes the bat, a clean sound sharp. Echoing, different. The boys look at each other. Something about that sound stays. Because in that moment, cricket is not just being played, it is being noticed. And from that quiet beginning, a passion begins to grow. A game that arrived as a stranger. Cricket did not belong to India at first. It arrived with the British, carried across oceans, introduced in colonial grounds, played by officers who saw it as a reminder of home. To them, it was tradition. To India, it was unfamiliar, distant, almost unreachable. At first, the game was played behind boundaries, social, cultural, and physical. Indians watched more than they played, observed more than they participated. But something about cricket was different. It was not just a sport. It was structured, disciplined, and strangely inviting. Because unlike many things imposed during that time, cricket allowed space. Space to learn, space to adapt, space to belong. The first players of change. The earliest Indian communities to embrace cricket were the Parsis. In the late 19th century, they did not just watch the game, they stepped onto the field. They formed teams, organized and slowly began to compete. It was not easy, resources were limited, opportunities even more so. But they persisted, because sometimes the beginning of a revolution does not look like resistance. It looks like participation, and through that participation, something shifted. Cricket was no longer just a foreign game. It was becoming local. The silent struggle behind the game. For early Indian cricketers, the challenge was not just skill, it was access. Facilities were limited. Support was scarce. Recognition was almost non-existent. Yet they played on rough grounds, with imperfect equipment. Driven not by fame, but by passion. Because when something speaks to you deeply, you do not wait for permission. You begin, and that is exactly what India did with cricket. The birth of identity through competition. As cricket grew, so did competition. Matches between communities. Parsis, Hindus, Muslims, Europeans. Each game carried more than runs and wickets. It carried identity, representation, pride. Cricket became a space where people could express themselves, not through words, but through performance. And slowly, it became something deeper than sport. It became a voice, the first global step. In 1932, India played its first test match at Lord's Cricket Ground. It was more than a match. It was a statement, a team representing a nation not yet independent, standing on one of the most historic grounds in cricket. The result did not matter as much as the moment itself, because it marked India's arrival on the world stage, not as spectators but as participants. The long wait. Success did not come immediately. Years passed, cues were played, losses accumulated, progress was slow, but something important was happening beneath the surface. Experience was building, understanding was growing, and most importantly, belief was forming. Because true growth is often invisible at first. It happens quietly, gradually, until one day it becomes undeniable. The turning point, minus 1983. June 1983. 1983, Cricket World Cup Final. The world did not expect much from India. The West Indies were dominant, unstoppable. A team that defined excellence. India entered as underdogs, uncertain, unproven. But cricket has a way of creating moments that defy expectation. Under the leadership of Kapil Dev, something extraordinary happened. India did not just compete. Every run mattered. Every wicket carried weight. And when the final catch was taken, history changed. India had won. Not just a trophy, but confidence. A new identity. A realization that they belonged at the highest level. The ripple effect. That victory did more than inspire players. It transformed a nation. Children picked up bats. Streets became playgrounds. Dreams expanded because for the first time, success felt possible. Real, accessible. And cricket became more than a sport. It became aspiration. The era of icons. As the years passed, India produced players who defined generations. Sachin Tendulkar, a name that carried emotion beyond numbers. A player who represented consistency, dedication, and humility. For millions, he was not just a cricketer. He was hope. Then came others. Different styles, different strengths, but one common thread: belief and possibility. Because once a nation begins to believe, it continues to grow. The modern explosion, the 21st century brought transformation. Infrastructure improved, opportunities expanded, and cricket entered a new phase. Professional leagues, global exposure, financial growth. The emergence of the Indian Premier League changed everything. It brought together talent from across the world, created new platforms, introduced a faster format, and made cricket more accessible than ever before. But beyond the spectacle, something deeper remained. The connection between the game and the people. The streets still matter. Despite all the growth, all the stadiums, all the lights, the heart of Indian cricket still beats in the streets. Narrow lanes, on dusty grounds, where children play without pressure, without expectation. Only passion. Because greatness in India does not begin in academies. It begins in simplicity, in love for the game, the symbol of the bat. If one object defines cricket in India, it is the bat, held by millions, across cities and villages, different sizes, different shapes, but always the same purpose. It represents dreams, possibility, effort. Every time a child picks up a bat, they're not just playing. They are imagining, and in that imagination lies the future. The motivational truth. The rise of cricket in India is not just about the game. It is about persistence, about starting without advantage, about growing through struggle. It teaches something powerful. You do not need perfect conditions to begin. You need belief. The early players did not have resources, but they had determination. The 1983 team was not expected to win, but they believed, and that belief changed everything. The future that continues to rise. Today, India stands as one of the strongest forces in world cricket, but the story is not finished. It continues, with every young player stepping onto a field, with every match played in the streets, with every dream that refuses to stay small. Because growth does not stop. It evolves, expands, reaches further. Final reflection. The rise of cricket in India is not just history. It is a journey, from watching to playing, from learning to leading, from doubt to dominance. It is proof that greatness does not arrive suddenly. It is built step by step, moment by moment, through effort that no one sees until everyone does. Because somewhere, even today, on a quiet, dusty ground, a young player stands with a bat in hand. No crowd, no spotlight, only a dream. Just like before, that is where everything begins.